There are thousands of articles and videos online about winter staples, and honestly, if you read too many of them, it can leave you completely confused and exhausted trying to decide which ones you're actually going to include in your wardrobe. So today, we're gonna finally end all this confusion once and for all. I'm gonna go over the few timeless winter staples that you will need in your closet that, number one, I believe will last you for years to come. Number two, they're gonna go with everything that you already have hanging in your closet. And number three, they're gonna make getting ready in these cold winter months just seem a lot easier, and you'll also feel chic and classy and confident in every single one of your outfits. Every one of these can be found at any budget level, from like high street to luxury. So I'll link everything that I show in the video down below, but just know that they can be found pretty much anywhere that you wanna shop. So let's get started. First is a Camel belted overcoat. It's one of those timeless pieces that you're always going to have in your closet for years if you take care of it properly. You can dress it up or down, plus you can layer effortlessly with it. You could pair it with things like blouses, sweaters would be fine underneath it. And then for bottoms, I would say like jeans or trousers or skirts. There's really nothing that you can go wrong with styling with something like this. Plus the camel color is one of those very expensive looking colors. So no matter what you actually paid for it, it's going to look like it was much more expensive than you bought it for. Next, if you're looking for one signature coat that will add sophistication to almost any outfit, a classic navy coat like this one is what you're gonna need. So it's one of those more tailored, structured styles, and this style has been around for decades. Because of the classic navy color, it's not going to go out of style, and you don't have to worry about what navy goes with because it can look so intentional with anything. It looks so classy, and so you can style it with an elegant evening dress if you want to, if you're going out, or during the day, just a basic like t-shirt and jeans outfit or anything basic would be fine with this, and it would look so chic and classy. Next is a classic leather jacket. A lot of women don't understand the power of a good leather jacket. I think that they get sort of a bad rap for being too harsh or hardcore, but that's if you style them that way. I mean, sure, you could dress them with like ripped jeans and maybe boots and studs, anything like that that is actually hardcore, but there's another way to style them, which is a juxtaposition where you're styling this masculine look with something more feminine. Think of all the feminine things that you could pair with this, like skirts or dresses or ruffles or anything to really give that masculine and feminine combination. And that creates more of this like mysterious who is she factor, like there's more to the story there. So don't be afraid to experiment with a leather jacket this season. Next is a chic, lightweight trench. So where I live, we definitely get those warmer winter days, maybe you do too, but for me, I love having just a lightweight trench, just that I can throw on over anything, and they are as timeless as they come. I believe that they came around to be very popular to style with ever since World War I and II, maybe, but the color is very neutral, so it goes with anything. You can cinch it at the waist. It's got these perfectly classic tortoiseshell buttons, and that's just sort of how they always come. I believe that having more of a structured look is what I want personally, but ultimately it's up to you on how you want to style it. You could dress it with athleisure and like scarves and beanies, but you also could wear it with something if you're going out and just wanting to look absolutely perfectly Grace Kelly level of chic. And I definitely would pick up one if you haven't this season. Next, get yourself a pair of wool trousers. This is honestly a new investment for me, but it's gonna get so much use this winter. I just believe that you should find a pair with a lining if you can, just so that you don't hate your life when it comes to the end of the day and you've been wearing something wool on your legs for too long. If it doesn't come with a lining, you can definitely just layer under them. I like to wear some fleece tights, or just tights in general will sort of keep that barrier and make them feel very comfortable. But I like them because they're more of a relaxed trouser, so they're not like contoured to my skin or anything like that, and they still have that structure and a little bit of a drape depending on the length that you want to go with. But I like to wear them with heeled boots and turtlenecks, and they definitely keep my look being elevated and lengthened. So this pair is from Everlane, and I can link it to you down below. As for jeans, I like to use black straight leg jeans. They're my go-to for winter months. I like to match them with some ankle boots, just something very simple. I'll get to ankle boots in a second, but they make your legs look a mile long long, and they don't get quite as dirty as some of the other colors of jeans could, with everything going on as far as snow and mud depending on where you live. Of course, they're gonna match any single winter top that you want to wear, and they can be a layering piece so that if you feel like you're a little bit too cold in jeans, you can still put some fleece leggings on underneath them if you feel comfortable. And I recently found this Way High pair from Everlane. I like their whole Way High collection, by the way. The whole thing just makes me feel like it's perfectly proportioned for my torso length, so definitely check that out if you're built like me. Next, black semi-sheer tights also get a lot more use during these months for me, for warmer winter days. I like to wear them layered underneath shorter items like skirts, and midi skirts even are really great, even though they're not like quite as short. And dresses too. If I'm wearing like a midi dress, then they're gonna look so wonderful to just have that sheer component, but also have a beautiful look to them and make me feel like I don't have to worry about how tan I am or anything like that. But since I lean more neutral between November and March, then using something that's just a black sheer tight is gonna make everything look very academia and a little bit flirty, but just more sophisticated. So I would definitely pick up a pair if you haven't. I like the brand Sheertex just because they don't rip up quite as easily. Okay, let's circle back to ankle boots. So for a simple and beautiful black ankle boot, that's what's gonna serve you so well during the colder months. I like to wear them between really September and April, so they serve me for quite a long time where I live. They go with everything. They elongate your legs. They have a more mature and sleek feel to them, and they're super easy to keep clean. So I like a crocodile print if I can find one, just because it makes it look newer, longer. There are scuffs on this. They're a few years old, and you really can't tell that I didn't buy them like this year. And then also I like this more weather-resistant boot from Nisolo with the rubber soles, and then the upper is more like a resistant sort of coating that they've put on them to really make them last a long time. All right, baseball caps are a pretty controversial addition to this list. I've heard people say, I love wearing them, and I've also heard people say there is no way that a baseball cap can be chic and classy. In my opinion, it really comes to what texture you're choosing, or what pattern even. A lot of times you can choose something that is perfectly sophisticated. A lot of more really luxury brands create them, and you can just tell that difference in the style that they create. And I like them because they create more of an academia feel for me, and there are just so many versions that I've been picking up lately. And I think too, because I'm transitioning from my Nashville style where I wore just naturally more fedoras and more bold options for hats, I still love hats, and so I've been really enjoying trying baseball caps as my styling piece here. One of my favorite brands is Aimé Leon d'Or. They're mainly a menswear brand, but what I like about that is that a lot of menswear brands are just made to have a higher level of durability than women's brands. And they also make it look like you took this out of your man's closet. So it's got a little bit of an effortless, like mysterious feel to them that I think is perfectly beautiful. So try them and just see how you might experiment with a baseball cap if it's not something that isn't too like cold for you where you live. You might just need something more warm like a beanie otherwise. I think many people look at winter fashion and almost dread it, and it honestly can be a little bit boring or exhausting if you're trying to just figure out how to dress in it and still look chic. Otherwise, you sort of just wrap yourself up, call it a day, but you don't have to. I think that there's a lot of ways to experiment with outerwear pieces and accessories, and you can really embrace winter as just another chapter or season or way to experiment in a very classy way. So I hope you found these tips helpful, and again, if you feel lost with your style, if you want to sort of start over on your style in 2023 and just have more confidence in what you're wearing, then I've got to suggest my 6-week signature course, Master the Art of Personal Style. Over 5,000 women have already joined it, so I'm going to be closing that access down pretty soon here as we wrap up the year, but you can get access to week 1 right now if you visit dearlybethany.com. So click the link below, and with that, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.